Hey everyone, and welcome to Journey Through the Generations. I am Philip.
Hey guys, I'm Trisha.
And we're back for another episode as we ramp up our travel to RootsTech.
Yes.
We're super excited about it, right?
We are. It's less than a week away. It's hard to believe it kind of snuck up on us.
Yeah, we got a few days left, so we're feverishly trying to get everything done and prepared.
Yes.
For what we want to do at RootsTech.
Yes.
It's a lot.
It's going to be a busy 4 days, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to learn a lot. I'm planning on meeting a lot of new people, so I'm super excited about it.
So what we want to do today is go through just some tips for the new person who's never been to RootsTech before or have only been a time or two. But it may be a person who hasn't been in a while.
Right.
So we're just going to go through. Last year was our first year.
Yes.
So we're going to just share the things that we've learned over the last year to prepare for this year.
Yes.
And some of this stuff is a reminder for us too.
Yes, and I need it coming up for next week too.
Yeah. So let's just go through these and we'll just go ping pong style.
That sounds good. Mm-hmm.
All right. So the first one is using the RootsTech app. The app has a lot of information on it, and it's really beneficial because you can set your schedule ahead of time. So you can go on the app and see all of the classes, the titles of the classes, the information sheet, the speakers. You can see all of that information on the app, and you can favorite the classes that you want to either look more into or actually go to.
Right. You can do that right now.
You can do it ahead of time. But there's also the list of speakers. So if you want to see their bio, the exhibitors, there's maps on there, social media. You can take notes.
I did that last year. That was helpful.
Yeah. And then there's like all the people who will be attending. So there's a lot of different information on here. And I would, encourage you to look through the app, download it and look through the app here over the next few days to be ready for when you arrive next week.
Yeah, that's a really good one. One of my tips is to go ahead and plan a tentative schedule of what you want to do, because there's going to be a lot going on. There's over 300 classes. The expo hall is huge. The family history library is right down the street. So you want to make a tentative plan of each day of the sessions that you want to take and the downtime that you have. You want to actually plan to go to the family history library. So just plan ahead and also have a backup session for your schedule as well. Just in case something is canceled, or maybe you're tired and you don't feel like going all the way to the other end of the convention center to go to a class, you have a backup plan.
Or maybe if you get to a class and it's full and there's nowhere for you to sit or stand or whatever.
That's a good point.
You might want to have that just in case.
Yeah, and that way you have a backup plan.
Right. The next tip I have is to take cash with you.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, I know that in this day and age, people hardly ever carry cash anymore, and I understand that. I think the reason why I say take cash is you never know if there's a vendor maybe in the expo hall that doesn't take cards.
Right.
That's hard to believe, but maybe
it might be.
It may be. There's a few. And then also, you just never know if the Wi-Fi in the expo hall works. So last year, my Wi-Fi, my computer wouldn't hook up to the Wi-Fi, and I'm not sure why. And I hope it doesn't happen next week. But if those people who are using those credit card machines if they can't connect to Wi-Fi, they can't take your card. So it's good to have cash available if you need it.
And with that many vendors around, there's bound to be some kind of slowdown or technical problems at least once during the conference.
Right. Just be prepared for that.
My next tip is to go to the expo hall during the general session. I think this is a good idea because the expo hall does have big screen TVs, and so you can actually see and listen to the presenters during the keynote addresses without actually being at the main stage if that's not what you want to do. So you could go to the expo hall during that time. It'll be less people down there. It will actually give you an opportunity to actually go up to the vendors and actually talk to, if it's like one of the smaller companies, talk to the owners, or if it's like a podcaster or a blogger that has a booth there, you would be able to actually go up and talk to them and let them know that you follow them or what you like best about their podcast or anything like that. And it'll be really interactive.
Next is view the exhibitor list ahead of time. So you'll know who's there, where they're located, and the ones that you want to visit. There's going to be a lot of different types of companies there. There'll be ones selling products and services.
Yeah.
There'll be schools. There'll be genealogical societies. So there's a lot of different people there. Go through the exhibitor list and mark the ones that you want to make sure that you get time with. And the expo hall is very big. There's a lot of people and around, so it's good to have that. You can find that exhibitor list, like I said a few minutes ago, in the app, but you can also go online to rootstech.org and look at the conference guide, and all of them will be there as well. So.
Yeah, that's a good one. Next for me is talk to people. And this one is a big one for me because I'm an introvert. I don't really talk to people that much, especially people that I don't know. But when you're at a genealogy conference, it's just something about other genealogists and family historians. They are so approachable and they're very outgoing, and they want to know all about what you're researching. They want to tell you about what they're researching, and they're very supportive. They want to give you ideas on how you can research something. So when you're in, the class before it starts, talk to whoever you're sitting by. If you're at a table for lunch and it's people sitting across from you, introduce yourself. And definitely, you never know, you may run into somebody who's researching the same area that you are, and you could get some good ideas.
And to piggyback off of that a little bit, I would encourage you, and I don't know if we call them celebrities or not, but they're famous or
in
popular.
In my mind, they are.
Yeah, famous or popular people in the genealogy industry. The ones you see on TV or YouTube or podcasts, a lot of them are open to you coming up and introducing yourself and talking to them. They're human beings just like you and I, and as long as they're not in the middle of something, and they have time, because a lot of times these people are here and they're either doing a class, teaching a class, or they're giving a demonstration in the expo hall or something like that, or they're selling a book, whatever. So just make sure that they aren't in the middle of doing something else, and they're not eating or something, and just be mindful of that. But go up and talk to them. You never know what kind of interaction you'll have with them. I got the sense last year that all of them were great and didn't have a problem talking to you and taking pictures or whatever. So
yeah, and they want to hear that you listen to them or you've read their books, and how their podcast or their book or their YouTube channel has helped your research. They actually like to hear those kind of stories. So next for me is the Family History Library. It is literally 2 blocks away from the convention center. So you have the great opportunity not only to attend all of these classes and have all this access to the expo hall, but you have right down the street the biggest genealogical library in America. So I highly suggest that you plan a few hours to go. Make sure you take your research plan that you want. I already know what you want to research and have a plan going in, but definitely go to the Family History Library. Introduce yourself. They have wonderful volunteers and staff there. Let them know that this is your first time going, or if you hadn't been in a while, they'll give you a quick tour. They're very helpful. I went last year and they were very helpful to me, and I was able to get a lot of research done in the 3 hours that I was there.
And you should know that the library will be open for extended hours this year. So go online to the conference guide at rootstech.org and check and see whatever day you're going to be there, what how long
Yeah,
they
what the
go.
hours are going to be that day.
So you can still go to and do your classes and stuff and still have time to research after dinner
Yeah,
or
that's a
something
good
like
idea.
that. My next one is to make sure you go and visit the genealogy
That's a
societies
good one.
that are in the expo hall and consider joining one that fits your particular interest or ancestry. Become a member and become involved. So, for example, Trisha and I are members of the Afro American Historical and Genealogical Society, and we volunteer as
Right.
well. So go and take a look. There will be a few of those types of organizations there, and it's a good idea for you to join. It will definitely help you in your research of what you're doing.
Right. My next one is when you're making your schedule and you're looking at the list of all the sessions that are offered, pick one class or session that you've never taken before or seems like it's something that you aren't really interested in. Take something that's different. This year, I was looking through the schedule and I decided that I'm going to take a session on adoption records. I'm not adopted. I haven't done any research for anyone who's adopted, but I think that would be something interesting to learn the process of how that happens, how you would research that. So that's something that's very different for me that I have never done before and don't know anything about, and I'm going to do something new this year.
That's cool. That's a good idea. My next one would be I watched Family History Fanatics. They put out a tips video on YouTube, and I watched it. And one of the ones they had, I totally agree. I agree with all of them, but there's one I want to make sure that I call out because it was a good one. When you're in your classes and you're at the end ready to ask
Oh,
questions,
yeah, that's good.
please keep your questions brief. A lot of times, those classes they go all the way up until like 5 minutes or so
Right.
before it's time to end. And if you take 2 minutes to ask your question, they're going to take 2 minutes to answer it. There's no time for anyone else to get a question in. And we saw this a lot in the class in the conference that we went
Yeah.
to, the OCTS conference in October. People took so long to ask a question.
Yeah.
Let's be considerate of others and get everybody else a chance to ask a
Yeah.
question. So keep it brief. One of the other things that they talked about on Family History Fanatics was to drink water.
Water, well, that's good for two reasons. One, you want to always stay hydrated, but in Utah, that's where we're going to be. So you want to make sure with the altitude and everything that you're staying hydrated, just to make sure that, you know, your brain is fresh and you're awake and everything is going the way it should go. So,
Yeah, and just be prepared to walk a lot.
oh my God,
The
yes.
convention center is huge. I've been in a lot of convention centers
It's
over
big.
the years, and I mean, I can't remember all of them that I've been in, but This
That's
might be
probably the
one of the
biggest
biggest
one.
ones that I've ever
It's
been
it's
in.
definitely the biggest one I've been in. And so it's really important to make sure that you take some good shoes, good comfortable walking shoes, and make sure that you have some good socks. I know that sounds odd, but you want to make sure that you are taking very good care of your feet because they're the ones that's going to keep you up for these 4 days of all this great genealogy. Um,
And take breaks.
right.
It's just to sit down. There's going to be plenty of space both in the expo hall and out in the main hallways for
Mm-hmm.
you to just stop,
And sit
sit
down.
down, maybe collect your thoughts on the class you just took or gather some notes, make phone calls, whatever it
Right. Or
is,
just rest.
or just rest your mind and your body because it is a lot. By the time you get to day 3 or 4,
You'll start feeling it.
and as you go along in the conference, more people show up. So, because
Right.
not everybody goes all 4 days,
Right. And
so
that's another good
it picks
point
up.
because Saturday is Family Discovery Day at RootsTech. So there are going to be a lot more people on Saturday than there would have been throughout the week earlier. So there's going to be a lot of people in the expo hall. So you're going to have, to navigate around a lot of people. There's going to be a lot of children there that day. So you also want to take that into consideration as well.
Yeah, and take some snacks with you in your bag or your purse or whatever you're carrying with you. Little crackers,
Right.
a banana, some fruit, or something like that that you can stop in between classes or in between meals
Yeah.
and just
Something
have
that
a
you
little
can eat on
snack
the
to
go. Yeah.
just kind of keep your energy up and get your blood sugar
Right. Because that's
stabilized
the last thing you want to be is hangry in the middle of a
and
great
passing
session,
out in the
in the
middle of
middle of a
a
great
hallway or
session.
something.
Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah, that would be. So I think that's probably about it. That we could share a lot more with you,
Yeah.
but that would take
Well,
hours, I
yeah.
think. So, but we thought that these particular ones were very important
Yes.
for newbies for sure.
Right. Because we want you to be able to get the most out of this conference. Roots Tech is a conference that, I don't know how to explain it other than it pretty much meets you where you are. If you're a beginner, then you're great. If you're intermediate, you're great. If you're a professional, it's going to meet you there too. So we want you to be able to go to this conference, get everything that you can out of it so it can better your research and your genealogy.
Right. So we'll be there all 4 days. We're looking forward to it. If you see us, say hi.
Yes, and if you recognize our
Yep.
voice,
Let's take a picture together, a selfie or something,
yes.
and we'll share it on our social media, or you can share it on yours. And we will be doing interviews of people as
Yes.
well. So if you're
Yes.
interested in being recorded for, not sure if we're going to be able to record the podcast, but for YouTube for sure, we will be able to. Well, we could do the podcast. Yeah, we will be able to do one or the other.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, if you don't know what we look like, you can go to our YouTube channel,
Yes.
Journey Through the Generations, and watch some videos, and you'll see what we look
Right.
like. And if you see us, you can stop and say hi. My birthday is next week,
Yes,
so
it
I'll be
is.
celebrating all week. So if you see us, tell me happy birthday.
Yes, we would love to meet you.
Yeah, I like all the attention on my birthday. Before we get out of here, also make sure while you're at the conference, you share on social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever your preference is in social media. But if you want to tag us in your social media, I will put in the description of this episode all of our social media information,
Yep.
and it would be cool if you could use the hashtags. The RootsTech hashtag is RootsTech. If you're not going to RootsTech but you'll still be a part of it, if you want to be able to interact with people who will be there and who won't,
Right.
there's a hashtag that's called Not at RootsTech.
Yeah.
So use that, And then if you want to tag us, we'll be using those, and we'll also be using Love the Journey. So, um, yeah, I think
I think
that's
that's
probably
about
about it.
it.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have packing to do. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening.
Thanks.
Talk
Don't
to y'all
forget,
later.
love the journey.
Absolutely. Bye.